A very good morning to you and welcome to your Rugby World Cup 2015 update brought to you live from England. The ABSA Red Bus, ABSA, a member of Barclays, is parked inside of Campbell Park, which has been playing host to the Milton Keynes fan zone since the 1st of October. So as we begin this week, we look ahead to knockout rugby in the weekend still to come. The Rugby World Cup pool matches have all been concluded. So has automatic qualification for Japan 2019. That automatic qualification will go to the quarterfinalists as well as to Italy, Georgia, England and the hosts Japan. But for those four teams, England, Italy, Georgia and Japan, they've got 4 years to put in place what they're going to do at the next Rugby World Cup. For the quarterfinalists, however, they enter a very tense week of preparation. I wonder how that changes the energy within the camp. Let's check in with our camp correspondent Simon Burke to find out the latest from the Springbok camp.
And so the week of the quarterfinals at the 2015 Rugby World Cup begins. And if there ever was a script the Springboks could reasonably have expected to face Wales, well, they've got Wales. Now they have to overcome this hurdle.
Yeah, Wales is a very good team. I think we've heard it the last 6 years we've been here that they know how to beat us. So they're very confident when they play us. They had a good victory over us last year. But if you look at the two teams, I think it's a pretty different team going out on Saturday. But again, it's quarterfinals. Any team can beat anyone, and it's going to be tight, it's going to be tough, and it's going to be a pressure game. So it's going to be on the day who makes the right decisions and who takes their chances.
And on the injury front, Victor Matfield and JP Peterson were the only two real concerns. However, Springbok Dr. Craig Roberts is happy with their progress, and they should be in contention for selection when the match day 23 is announced for Wales on Wednesday. I'm Simon Burke, bringing you the latest from the Springbok camp.
Let's just confirm that quarterfinal lineup for you. It's going to be South Africa up against Wales in the very first quarterfinal. The next quarterfinal on Saturday coming is New Zealand up against France, Ireland up against Argentina on Sunday, and then Australia facing off with Scotland. That concludes your quarterfinal lineup and the final 8 in this Rugby World Cup 2015. Stay with us. We'll have more for you from this update. Back to our Rugby World Cup update live from England. We're in Milton Keynes as the ABSA Red Bus, ABSA, a member of Barclays, is parked inside of a Campbell Park, which has been playing host to the fan zone. Now here in Milton Keynes there are 3 rugby clubs, and one of them is of course named after the city, the Milton Keynes Rugby Football Club. But their nickname is the Zulu Warrior. So we sent Mac Messina to find out a little bit more about the club.
Rugby is existing right here in Milton Keynes, and guess what? I'm right here in the local club called Milton Keynes Club, and I had to meet the South African guy called Pretorius. Yeah, man.
How you doing? You alright? Yeah, Jared Pretorius.
What is your name?
Jared Pretorius. Gerard Pretorius.
Gerard, daar sê, praat nou. How are you going?
Net praat 'n bietjie Afrikaans, ek is nog met so 'n Engelsman hier so nou.
Why here?
Oh, I just love the weather, eh? British passport. I come for the 4 days. I come for the 4 days of summer here. Love it. British passport. What can I say?
I've been at this club for best part of 10, 15 years now. Played for the first team, managed the first team. I play a bit, mostly for the vets, for the 2s, 3s, whatever.
Zulu Warriors come from an ex-player who used to play in South Africa. Come over, Steve Watts, brought it into the club, and somehow we just adopted it.
The club used to be in Wolverton, and it was there well before we were there, wasn't it?
Then an unexpected turn of events for Mac Messina, who retired from pro rugby in 2002. After 20 minutes of the second team's match against Rushden, the referee was injured and Milton Keynes Rugby Club were left wanting. Step up a South African warrior, Mac Messina, making his international reffing debut. Armed with a SARU Level 2 coaching qualification, Mac had to be reminded his job was to call, not guide the teams on the field. It was appropriate then that in rugby spirits Mac stepped in to help, and symbolic it would be at a club nicknamed the Zulu Warrior.
So Mac, can you tell me how was your debut?
Oh, it's great. Difficult, tough, exciting, a little bit nervous. But
Breathing a bit heavily there, can you tell me why?
Yeah. I mean, it was my fault. I played too much self-advantage.
I'll be honest, I think it's something to do with age. Can you tell me about that?
No, I know.
It's fantastic. Well, I hope you enjoy your second half.
Oh, yeah, I must go again.
The referee changed the game, to be honest with you. It was pretty solid the first half, but when the ref came on, it was dreadful.
And yes, we did get to hear the song after the home team won, scoring 4 tries in total. And the real winner on the day was the spirit of sportsmanship and that wonderful rugby spirit. Thank you very much to Mac. Now I've come outside and I'm standing with the head of community engagement here at Milton Keynes, Briony Fox. A very good morning to you and welcome to Morning Live.
Hello.
This was a height of activity on Saturday as you guys attempted a record for a mass haka, but I was so impressed to see one specific member also taking part, and that was your mayor. It's really shown how everybody in this community has gotten up and taken on the Rugby World Cup.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, we've welcomed the world to Milton Keynes, but actually one of the highlights of this whole Rugby World Cup tournament has been the way the Milton Keynes people have really engaged with the sport and engaged with the fan zone. We've had the mayor, we've had lots of community activity groups, so dancers, singers, all getting involved with the fan zone and entertaining people here. And we've had 120 fantastic volunteers participating as well and helping to make sure the experience at the fan zone is amazing for people.
What has gone into the organisation of putting together this fan zone? Because each fan zone has its own little flavour in all the towns that we've been to. This one we saw a circus tent for the very first time and massive puppets. Tell us what goes into actually organising something like this.
Well, we've been working on this for about 2 years now, and we started off by thinking, you know, it's October, it's not going to be very nice potentially. Actually, we've been lucky with the weather, but, you know, we wanted to make sure people would have a good experience, so we booked the tent. We actually had to book it a long time ago because there's only 5 of these in Europe, tents of this size. But really, the biggest sort of activity around organising it was getting the community engaged, so starting to contact groups, getting people to think about what they could do as part of the Rugby World Cup, and then starting to schedule the programme so that everyone had an opportunity to participate in the way they wanted to.
Yesterday we were expecting as big a crowd as we saw on Saturday, but we saw people coming in and out. Have you been happy with the attendance here at the fan zone, because yesterday was your last day?
Yeah, I mean, the attendance has been up and down really. Obviously when we've had the games in Milton Keynes, that's when we've had the biggest crowds, but I think overall we've been really pleased with how people have embraced the Rugby World Cup and in Milton Keynes, and I think we've been really pleased with how many people have come to the fan zone.
And also to see a number of families coming to not only watch the matches but also get involved in some of the activities. You've had some rugby related activities, which has been great.
Yeah, well, one of the things we wanted to do was make sure that it was an event for the whole community. It wasn't just for rugby fans, and we've had a legacy programme as well, working with local schools over the last 18 months, trying to get young people engaged in rugby. So the whole point of getting the Rugby World Cup in Milton Keynes for us was about making sure that people who weren't interested in rugby before the Rugby World Cup, actually engaged with it and got involved with it. So we think that's been one of the biggest successes in the city.
Well, having been here, it's a job well done. Thank you very much to Briony Fox, who is the head of community engagement here in Milton Keynes, putting together this fan zone. Now, on recommendation from a local, I was told, well, while I'm here in Milton Keynes, I best go rock climbing.
Spider went up the It's a fantastic induction. The systems we use, the auto relays, they basically mean that people can get a lot of climbing in the allocated time. Sometimes when you go to more dedicated climbing centres, you have to have a person controlling the rope belaying, and that can be time consuming. It's a better way of climbing, but the way we do it works very well. We opened in 2002, so we've been here quite a while now. And it's very, very popular with families, young families at weekends, certainly, is when Escape get most of their business, and it's when it's most popular for us. The key to rock climbing is always technique. You know, ability doesn't really matter so much. The more you climb, the better you'll get, and the more your technique will improve. But to start instructing someone, all you really need to do is to teach them the very basics. In climbing, the most important thing you can do is use your legs and your feet. Okay, it's very, very intensive on the lower body. Upper body strength can come into it, but it's more of a, as you progress through harder climbs, that's when you'll use your upper body more. But as long as you're pushing with your legs, relaxing your hands and having fun, then that's the important thing.
That was awesome. So from all of the different activities here in Milton Keynes, the ABSA Red Bus is going to be on the move once again. Tomorrow morning we're going to be bringing you another Rugby World Cup update live from Oxford, and from Oxford it's then on to London for knockout rugby as the quarterfinals begin. I can't wait to bring it to you, but for now it's time to say goodbye and let's go back to Leanne inside the Johannesburg studio.